Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're really jumping into the complex world of Chinese business culture. Our source material is fascinating. It's a cross-cultural consultation. We've got Anna in Shanghai, James in Australia, trying to figure things out before some big meetings. And our mission for you listening is pretty clear. We want to extract that cultural operating system. What are the specific drivers, the economic ones, the relationship ones, that really determine success? We're trying to get our heads around a kind of paradox, aren't we? How can a place known for incredible speed also demand so much patience and long-term trust?
That paradox is absolutely the place to start. I mean, the first thing anyone notices, the real foundation, is just the diligence.
Yeah.
The work ethic, well, it's relentless. You feel it immediately. It really powers everything.
Okay, so let's unpack that intensity a bit. It feels like it runs deeper than just hitting quarterly targets. Why is there such a powerful culture of diligence?
Oh, it's fundamental. And the source material points to basically two big reasons, deeply connected. First, you have the Confucian roots. And this isn't just, some abstract philosophy. Hard work, self-improvement, intense study. These are core cultural values, almost moral duties. But the second reason gives it that modern sharpness. Competition. It's just incredibly fierce. Think about university entrance exams, getting good jobs. People learn very early on that putting in extra effort, serious extra effort, is just the baseline. It's how you get ahead.
Right, so you have this cultural value colliding with, well, economic reality. That explains the high bar. Now, James also mentioned something about personal interactions, how they were quite reserved. Sticking to handshakes, none of the casual hugs or backslapping you might see elsewhere.
Yes, and that's really critical to understand. It reflects a kind of public modesty and definitely respect. In formal business situations, personal space is important. The handshake, it's perfect. It shows respect, formality, but without being intrusive. You're signaling that you get the seriousness of the situation. Showing that respect early on, that's like your first deposit in the trust account.
Okay, that makes sense. Connecting that personal formality now to the bigger picture, the macro stuff. The consultation apparently spent time on the sheer scale and speed of China's economic growth over the last few decades. If the culture demands hard work, what actually enabled the economy to grow so fast?
Well, it certainly wasn't random. It was driven by, let's say, four big strategic pushes, one after another. First, the big policy shift, the whole reform and opening up policy.
Right.
That basically cracked open the door for market forces in a system that was very centrally planned before. That lit the fuse. Then, maybe the most visible part, was this huge investment in physical infrastructure. I mean, the scale is incredible: high-speed rail, massive container ports, sprawling industrial zones. This wasn't just about supporting growth. It actually created the ability to operate at a scale and speed that was, frankly, unprecedented.
So they built the physical capacity to move things and information really, really fast. How did that then plug into the global system?
All right, that's the third driver, joining the WTO. That really formalized things, sped up integration into global supply chains. And then, more recently, the drivers have been things like rapid urbanization and, crucially, domestic tech innovation. That's kept the hypergrowth going. Now, the key link back to the business culture is this. That whole history of rapid, massive development shapes current expectations. When you're in a negotiation, you need to realize your partners are probably operating at a speed, at a capacity that few other markets can really match. They expect things fast because, well, they built the country that way.
And that perfectly sets up the tension with needing patience, which is where we get to the real core cultural stuff James was asking about. Let's talk Guanxi and mianzi. These seem absolutely central. How do we explain them so they're actually useful for someone listening?
Yeah, we need to get past just dictionary definitions. These concepts really dictate who you talk to and how you talk to them. Let's start with Guanxi. People often translate it as relationships or connections, but it's really more like a dynamic network. It's built on mutual obligations, reciprocal favors. Think of it like a social capital bank account. And yes, it's vital. Practically speaking, good Guanxi lets you cut through red tape. It can speed up approvals, maybe get you access to resources or opportunities that aren't openly advertised. It's how things often get done quickly, connecting back to that speed we talked about. Okay, but if James or anyone new is just starting out, they don't have that history, right? No favors in the bank. How do you even begin to build Guanxi? That's the challenge, exactly. You don't build deep Guanxi overnight. It happens mainly in three ways. First, introductions. Getting vouched for by someone who already has strong Guanxi is huge. Second, you demonstrate real long-term commitment, showing you're not just there for a quick win. And third, maybe most importantly for a newcomer, is by rigorously respecting the other key concept, mianzi.
Mianzi. Face. Reputation. Dignity. The source implied the stakes here are incredibly high, like making a mistake can kill a deal instantly.
Absolutely.
Hmm.
Mianzi is about public reputation, social standing,
Yeah.
and it's layered. It affects the individual, their boss, even their company. You need to think about giving face and saving face. Giving face is actively enhancing someone's reputation. Maybe you praise their recent success publicly or compliment their skills in front of others. It builds them up. Saving face is often more critical during tricky moments, like negotiations. If someone makes a mistake or maybe their idea isn't quite right, you never point it out publicly. Never embarrass them.
So you handle it privately.
Exactly. Discreetly. Maybe one-on-one later. You protect their dignity in front of the group.
So if you, as the listener, were in a meeting and you publicly shot down a senior person's suggestion, that would be a major loss of face for them.
Oh, definitely. A huge misstep. You've damaged their standing, potentially undermined their authority with your own team, and critically, you've broken the trust you need to actually move forward. The goal is always to protect and ideally enhance your counterpart's dignity. Understanding how mianzi, face trust, and Guanxi network favors work together, that's the groundwork you absolutely have to lay before you start talking hard numbers or deadlines.
Right. So why should you, listening, really internalize this? Because if you don't get the how right the relationship dynamics, what the actual deal might just never happen, it feels like slowing down at the start is crucial for the long run. Okay, let's shift gears slightly into the really practical stuff, the actual etiquette pointers Anna gave James. Assuming we've grasped why relationships are key, what are the concrete day-to-day things to follow? And these aren't just minor details, They're active signals of respect. They're how you start building that initial trust. Let's start with something seemingly simple. Business cards. You have to exchange them using both hands. Present your card so they can read it right away. And then you actually take a moment, pause, look at their card before you put it down carefully, maybe on the table in front of you.
The two hands thing, right? And the pausing to look.
Exactly. Using both hands shows respect for their identity, their position. Pausing shows you acknowledge who they are. Just stuffing it in your pocket, that signals disrespect.
And addressing people. Given everything about status and face, formality seems key.
Absolutely critical. Always use their title and their surname. Mr. Wang, Mrs. Lee, Director Chen. Avoid first names unless you're specifically invited to use them, which might take time. It maintains that respectful distance.
Okay. What about how you look? Appearance.
Attire matters. It reflects respect for the situation, for their organization. For men, it generally means a conservative, dark suit and tie. For women, professional, understated business attire. Think serious, polished. Number 4 on the list, dinners. If you're invited, you really should accept. The source stressed how much relationship building happens outside the formal meeting room. And be ready for the customs. There's often a specific seating hierarchy, and toasting is important. It's partly a social assessment, not just about the food.
Okay, speaking of social things, gifts came up. Anna apparently warned James that going too expensive could be awkward. Why would that be?
Ah, yes. This is a really subtle but important cultural point. Generally, you bring something modest, maybe something nice from your home region local tea, a small craft item. The reason for modesty is crucial. You don't want to make the recipient feel overly obligated to give something of similar value back. That immediately puts pressure on the Guanxi balance sheet, you see. And worse, a really expensive gift could even be misinterpreted, maybe seen as trying too hard or even viewed with suspicion, like an inappropriate incentive. Modesty signals genuine respect, not a transaction.
That completely changes how you think about gift giving. It's about relational comfort, not just generosity. Okay, and the final point, patience. Especially in negotiations. What's the real goal there?
The goal is partnership, not just a contract. Patience signals that you're interested in building a lasting, stable relationship, not just getting the quickest possible deal signed. Your counterpart wants to feel confident that you're committed to the market, to them, for the long haul, the next 5 or 10 years, not just the next quarter. If you seem rushed, they might assume you're purely transactional. And transactional partners are, well, inherently less reliable than long-term partners.
That brings everything together really nicely. The big theme running through all of this seems to be that success, even in a culture known for incredible speed and diligence, fundamentally depends on carefully, sometimes slowly, building deep relationships.
Yeah.
Building your own Guanxi, essentially.
Exactly. And that resolves the paradox we started with, doesn't it? The whole process, the formality with cards, the dinners, the need for patience in talks, it's all really a mechanism, a way to establish and constantly confirm the deep trust needed for a truly effective long-term partnership. Once that trust is firmly in place, then you can leverage that incredible economic engine, that speed and scale we talked about, much more effectively.
So, wrapping this up, what does it all mean for you, the listener, whether you're an executive, an investor, someone looking at this incredibly dynamic market? Well, if the core idea is that building Guanxi is the key to unlocking opportunities and achieving that long-term speed, maybe our final thought for you is this. If you have to consciously slow down your approach in the short term to show cultural respect, could it be that this very patience is actually the fastest, most direct path to achieving truly significant, sustainable success in the long run? Something to definitely think about next time you get that dinner invitation.